Good Thursday afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Erin Ashley, and let me change my monitor real quick because, as you know, I'm just a couple of minutes late here this morning. I just got done with the daytime news, and of course, it's my first time kind of doing everything all on my own, which is exciting, but at the same time, we are still rolling through a bit of the kinks. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me on 19 at noon. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Would love to hear from you all. And then we're going to go ahead and put the right thing behind me, which I believe is going to be this one. This one. Because I'm spoiling the entire forecast for you guys, and I don't want to do that. That would be no fun. What's the point in that, right? All right, alert monitor, and put me in that one. There we go. Now that we've rolled through the kinks. Hello, everyone. Still glad to see you. Glad to be here this Thursday. Time now is 12:02. Blustery outside, right? We've noticed those wind gusts being rather unpleasant yesterday, still stirring up a little bit of chaos out there, just not as impactful, of course, as what we saw yesterday afternoon especially, which was those really heavy wind gusts. I believe we hit 53 miles per hour in regards to those wind gusts, which was pretty significant. I mean, I definitely felt it when I was heading home from work yesterday, and most certainly you probably felt it too. This is what we're seeing across the tri-state. 25 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe the 30 mile per hour wind gusts, as we see those daytime temperatures reach the low 40s, maybe 35 to about 40 miles per hour. The difference with today versus yesterday is that it is colder to start the day. I mean, we woke up this morning, I had a nice layer of snow from yesterday on my windshield, and I have to admit, even though I forecasted it, I didn't give myself enough time this morning, and so I'm sitting there scraping off my car, and hopefully you guys were able to avoid that entirely. Your headlines this morning, well, it's quite a roller coaster, right? It's the winds today. We're tracking a little bit of rain there for tomorrow, but then the weather story, if you will, becomes these temperatures. We get into Sunday, those temperatures, they spring forward as we spring forward. I got the update, or I've got the details, I should say, on how daylight saving time will affect those sunsets, what we can look forward to. And then by early next week, those temperatures jumping, and by a lot too, 20-degree jump in the positive direction from Sunday into Tuesday. So that's your weather in a nutshell. Here on 19 at noon, I am going to, of course, break down the winds today, give you a little bit of an update on that rain expected for tomorrow, maybe a bit of wet snow coming into the mix. That's going to keep our temperatures from getting too warm too quickly. That's why temperatures are more seasonable by Sunday, and then they start to be on the more mild side by early next week. Right now on the horizon, just to our west, a lot of sunshine will be coming into the tri-state, still seeing some leftover clouds of the much bigger system. With those northwesterly breezes, it does feel a little extra chilly at times. Tomorrow, we do have a high of 48 degrees, a little bit more normal for this time of year, but we're still watching for a bit of rain. I don't think tomorrow's not going to be a washout. We're going to start with that. It's not going to be a washout. It's just going to be enough rain to make you want to have the umbrella at the ready. And we're talking about a tenth, maybe a quarter of an inch on the higher side of the spectrum. So if you had to compare it to the rain we received fairly recently, less than that. Let's time it out here on our first alert forecast model. So as we see more sun, those temperatures break into the 40s. They kind of stay that way. We're not expecting anything seasonable. We're still coming off of that snow from last night, and those wind gusts make the 40s feel like the 20s. Now overnight into Friday, the leading edge of that rain starts to come into the area mainly as clouds, keeps our temperatures in the mid to low 30s to kick off your Friday, and then there's the rain. We could see this come in two different rounds. The first one, let me back it up, is something that we're going to be watching towards the lunchtime hour. I mean, look how thin that band of showers is. It's not going to last a whole lot or a whole long time, and some of our models do suggest that this could be for our northern counties. Snow. I'd say most of this is going to be rain, and if it is snow, it's not going to stick because temperatures at the same time are starting to climb into the low 40s. So don't worry about the snow for Friday afternoon. Maybe worry about it for Saturday morning. And I'll show you why, because here on our first alert forecast model, we get late into Friday. We see some speckles there on our model. Moderate showers, all rain, with temperatures this time around the upper 30s to low 40s. But then notice as we get early into Saturday, and I mean really early into Saturday, it's going to be starting to come in as a bit of snow into the mix. That really is temperature dependent. Mid 30s kind of opens up the door for a lot of opportunity. So, but it also means that any snow we do get will be quite wet. It will struggle to stick, but nevertheless, just enough snow to say that it did in fact happen, and it is still in fact winter. With the clearing that comes behind this cold front, we're going to notice those temperatures dropping into the upper 20s. Again, now we're on Saturday morning. Saturday morning, increasing sun. As the day goes on, those temperatures start to feel a little bit better. We're talking upper 40s there by dinner time. Not too shabby at all, and heading into your weekend, pretty seasonable. I'd say Sunday is going to be your pick day with 50 degrees. We're warmer, partly cloudy. Again, Saturday, most of that action is before the sun even rises. Maybe a few leftover wet snowflakes there for any mid-morning plans. Overall, seasonable and certainly not as active, especially as we head into Sunday. Let that 50 degrees soak in, because from Sunday to Tuesday of next week, we make a 20-degree jump in those forecast highs. For some of us, maybe a little bit more, 50 to 70 degrees is what we're seeing. So those temperatures spring forward as we spring forward. That sunrise for Sunday, this is Sunday, 7:56 in the morning, and that sunset, 7:40 in the afternoon. That's almost 12 hours of daylight, guys. 7 p.m. sunsets do last through the middle part of October, so of course we see later and later sunsets as we get closer to summer. I know a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on daylight saving, but hey, a little bit of daylight hasn't hurt anybody, especially with these temperatures. We're able to soak in a little bit more of those warmer temperatures, and it comes at the right time. Here's that first alert extended forecast. We're seeing 50 Sunday. There's that 20-degree jump I just told you about. And the good news is there's nothing big we're seeing in this extended forecast to cool down those temperatures much. Maybe the extended forecast seeing maybe a little glimmer, if you will, we'll call it a glimmer, of some rain showers, getting a little breezy there with those highs in the upper 60s. But again, no signs to a big system that will dramatically cool these temperatures, just kind of opportunities here and there for some rain. And yeah, I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to say it. Maybe we're starting to see the last little glimmers, I keep using that word, of winter. And that's going to be before the weekend even hits. So let's go ahead and check our comments, see if we have anyone tuning in. We've got Seth tuning in. Hi, Erin. How are you doing on a Thursday? Seth, I'm doing pretty okay. Yeah, I don't really have much going on other than what's within the walls of this building. So can't be mad about the weather. It's a little cold for my liking, but of course we will take it. I appreciate you tuning in as always. So we'll go ahead and take the opportunity, since we've got some extra time here on 19 at noon, to dive in a little bit deeper to these winds, which yesterday we saw peak wind gusts up to about 53 miles per hour. That's what we were seeing at the Wilmington airport. Today it's nothing like that. I'm going to pull up our forecast model here to give you an idea, because we're tapering off. If this were to be a roller coaster, we're coming down the hill at this point. With those wind gusts in regards to their impact. So this is what we're seeing this afternoon, 35, maybe a 40 mile per hour wind gust, just enough to kind of make you want to have both hands on the wheel. I mean, you're supposed to do that anyways, but I'm saying it because Steph always says it. And then as we see Friday, as we see the overnight into Friday, those winds are going to die down just a little bit, and then getting into Friday, they're not as noticeable, at least for the first half of the day, maybe a bit gustier-ish, if you want to call that. Gusty into the afternoon, maybe about 15, 20 mile per hour wind gusts, just less and less impact. As we see Friday approach, we're kind of entering this lull in the weather. I don't want to say that because we're still tracking a little bit of rain and a little bit of snow with the incoming weekend, but of course, It's nothing big. It kind of just keeps those temperatures right where they're at. Just a little bit of energy there. Andrew tuning in. Good afternoon, Erin. How cute were the dogs yesterday? Yes, Andrew. For context, everyone else is, I wasn't on, but I was in the building for Fox 19's 4 p.m. newscast. And every Wednesday they bring in a local shelter and they show some dogs that are available for adoption. And yesterday was quite the treat. We had 4 puppies and we had their mama, whose name is Dolly. Dolly still needs a home. Dolly still needs a home, and she was the sweetest dog ever. If I didn't live in an apartment, I would probably have brought home a dog yesterday. I'm not going to lie. That's how sweet she was. Just kind of everything that I want in a dog, kind of just soft spoken and a cuddle bug, if you will. I appreciate you asking, Andrew, and thanks for tuning in as always. So while we talk about these winds heading over the next 24-ish hours, we also got to talk about these wind chills, which is what we're seeing here this afternoon. Right now, 12:12. Wind chills starting to get closer to 30 degrees. The Lunken Airport there, 31. Again, just kind of reiterating that winter is still here, and so are those colder temperatures. It's pretty short-lived. By this weekend, we're already starting to rebound. I'm going to pull up that weekend forecast once again because, I mean, it can get better than this. It will get better than this, but after the last few weekends that we've had, upper 40s, 50 degrees, and sun, a lot of it, comfortable sunshine, I'm planning a hike. I'm planning a hike. If you've been tuning in here on 19 at noon, Ethan and I have been looking at great spots for me to check out now that I'm back in Cincinnati, and maybe Sunday is the day that I'll finally take advantage of that, at least before I have to come into work. So I'm looking forward to that. Beyond the weekend, better for the spring lovers, of course. Let's take a look here at these feels like temperatures. I think this does a good job saying, hey, it's cold now, it's going to be less cold stepping into next week. So, of course, give and take with these numbers. This is more of showing you guys what we expect the trend to be in the next 3 days, feeling more like winter, and then the 3 days beyond that, feeling a little bit more spring-like. Sunday is kind of that pivot day in which we're seeing something seasonable, the 50s. And then by Monday into Tuesday, it's starting to be a little bit abnormally warm into the 70s. Again, those are the feels like temperatures. That kind of just does a good job of gauging. Does wind play a factor? Today it does play a factor. Even early next week it does play a small factor, but we're at 70 degrees for that forecast high on Tuesday, and yeah, even just a little bit of a breeze makes it feel like the mid 60s. But hey, I mean, who's keeping track other than me? It's gonna be a little bit warmer into next week. Still not seeing any people chiming in there on the comments. Again, 19 at noon, we are watching for these, we're waiting patiently for that sun to peek from behind the clouds because we're about 20 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. Yeah, that cold front really, it gusted up those winds and it tanked those temperatures. Here's that difference to give you an idea. Maysville was 30 degrees warmer than what we're seeing right now. But of course, we're getting later and later into the day, which means we're nearing when that cold front arrived yesterday. So we're going to see these numbers get less and less dramatic as the day goes on. And we're actually going to notice a little bit more sun too into these cameras, which I'm having a ball with these cameras because, I mean, look at this. It does a great job of telling the weather story. We've got beautiful stratocumulus clouds out there in the Newport on the levee cam, but look at the Ohio River right now. Yeah, it's showing a little bit of those choppy conditions, but also peaks of sun out on the surface of the Ohio River. And then the Turfway Park, nice and sunny right now, but just in Mount Auburn, intervals, guys, of clouds and sun. We're already starting to see peaks of those mostly sunny skies that will be coming into the area, dominating, giving us a lot of sun to soak in to round out your Thursday workday. Again, most of that's going to be happening towards the mid-afternoon. But at the same time, that's when we expect those winds to be gusting. I mean, it kind of balances out in which these temperatures will be in the low 40s for today. You got to remember that while we do have clear skies to round out the day today, that means those temperatures are able to drop pretty quickly. We're able to hit the low 40s by dinner time, and then we're dropping to the low 30s by daybreak tomorrow. So unfortunately, we're seeing clouds now. We're going to be getting some sun later, and then the clouds come right back over, leading into tomorrow's rain chance, which, since I have the time, let's reiterate what that looks like on our forecast model, because we're seeing mainly rain, but there is a small window of opportunity there for some wet snowflakes as well. Hi, we've got our engineer in here. I believe, is everything going okay?
You are not on certain places. You're only on social right now.
I'm only on social right now.
So if I could cut in just for a quick second.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cut in there for Taylor real quick.
Oh, no, go ahead and stay on.
Okay.
Just click this external button right here.
Oh.
That's it.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Thank you, Taylor. Taylor should be an honorary meteorologist at this point. Thank you, Taylor. I appreciate it for catching my error. All right. Of course, we got to remember to click all the buttons. Now that we're on everything, let's summarize in a nutshell what exactly we can expect leading into your weekend, over your weekend, and beyond the weekend. We're going to pull up the headlines. I think it does a great job of saying all of that information pretty succinctly. So today it's about the winds. Tomorrow, a little bit of rain coming into the area, maybe a bit of snow as well. You just can't rule it out. And then as we spring forward on Sunday, those temperatures, they go right with it. 50s Sunday, 70s Tuesday. So that's a 20-degree jump within 48 hours. 48 hours, folks. So if you're looking forward to spring, well, of course, the later and later we get into March, the more and more likely we're able to see those spring-like conditions. So it's not too far away at all. Those winds today going to be gusting. We're already seeing those gusts up to about 30 miles per hour this afternoon, closer to about 36, 34, that range. Again, nothing to compare to yesterday. Just the occasional 40-mile-per-hour wind gust is also possible. Now we get into tomorrow and we see the weather story become a chance for rain. Not a lot of rain, just enough, and just enough to impact those plans, right? So 48, the high for tomorrow. A little bit warmer than today, but still not exactly normal, just a hair below it. And then clouds going, you're gonna notice the clouds first half of the day, and then you'll notice a bit of rain, snow trying to fall there for your Friday afternoon. Let's time it out here on our first alert forecast model. Again today, sun to come into the forecast area, low 40s comes in with it. Now we get overnight, the leading edge of that rain chance is going to be coming in Friday in the morning. You saw it there just a second ago. We got a little bit of rain that could be coming in for the early afternoon. Just a little band. I mean, it's not a lot of rain. That's that warm front coming on in. Could very well see those temperatures get into the mid-40s. Depends on if we're able to see any sun between rounds. And then right ahead of that cold front is our chance, our greatest chance, for some heavier rain showers. I don't think we're going to have anything on the really impactful side just because we're seeing most of this action well after the sun sets. Temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. So looking at all rain to start, and then we get early into the morning on Saturday, those temperatures nearing about the mid-30s, and so some wet snow could be coming in from behind it. Not a lot, just enough to say that it's still in fact winter. Those skies will clear behind that cold front, and those temperatures will tumble at or just below freezing. That's to kick off your weekend. And the rest of the weekend, a lot of clear skies, maybe some clouds here and there, but generally we're talking about the warming trend. Once we get beyond that morning mix for Saturday, 50s by Sunday, and we spring forward, y'all. So those temperatures spring forward, but we also, the clocks, if you will, spring forward as well. Sunset for Sunday is at 7:40, and we're seeing 7 o'clock sunsets or later through October 15th. And here's your first alert extended forecast. Your time now is 12:21. Those temperatures on the rise for this extended forecast. We still have 1, 2, 3 days in which we're just a hair below normal. Sunday is kind of that pivot day in which 50s, sun, we spring forward, and then look at Sunday into Tuesday. That's that 20-degree jump that I showed you guys. Tuesday, 70 degrees, still a bit breezy heading into the middle part of next week, and that's just because it's going to be warm. And with a lot of exchange of that heat, those winds will kick up as well. All right. We can go ahead and check our comments one last time to make sure we hit on everything. We've got John tuning in from Toledo. Oh my goodness. Hi, John. Thanks for tuning in from Toledo. And Susan saying, hello, not a good hair day. Yeah, I know. I did my hair at work today because of those winds. And if you have the ability to, I suggest you do the same. Tomorrow, less of an impact, but we're still watching for a bit of those rain showers. And should the timing on that change at all, we will give you that first alert every step of the way. But with the time now being 12:22, I gotta hop off of here. Thank you for dealing with my technical difficulties. If you're tuning in on our streaming services, I appreciate you, and I'll remember to click the button next time. So thank you all so much for tuning in this afternoon now of the latest model data coming in on Fox 19 at 3, 4, and Chief Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. He'll be in later on this evening. Have a great rest of your Thursday.